Siamo qua perché la lupa che batte sul mio petto, la nostra grande amore, e noi siamo agli ultra. Dai, Roma! Look, I'm disappointed. I'm crushed. I really did believe that Roma could go into this match in front of a sold-out Olimpico and get a result. Instead, one of the reasons why I'm so upset is because this isn't the first time that a big mistake, a big defensive error has cost Roma in a valuable match. I really think back to Ibanez, whose ship has sailed, and in the Derby, what was that, 2 years ago now, or last season only? It feels like one of those moments. It feels like Roma could have done something special. They could have put themselves back on the map with a win versus the undefeated Bayer Leverkusen. But on top of that, on top of the error, I have to say Leverkusen were very good. They attacked in 4 or 5 players at a time. I was listening actually to Gaetano Messina from the IFTV podcast last night, and one thing that he mentioned was one of the reasons why Chiesa has been struggling for Juventus under Allegri is because they don't attack with, he said, you need like at least 4 guys. And I was like, that's a very good point. You do need numbers up. And when I saw what Leverkusen were doing with sheer speed, such an aggressive nature to their play, was like on their counters, on their rushes forward, 5, sometimes 6 guys. I'm like, that's outstanding. No one in Serie A is doing anything like that at the moment. It's one of those things which makes Xabi Alonso such an impressive manager. Guys, I'm Wayne Gerard. Thank you for joining me. So keep those comments coming in. If you're new here, press that subscribe button straight away. I'm going to go through the interview first. We're going to cap this episode at around the 30-minute mark. And I'll go through the interview, keep those comments coming in, and we'll get to everything at the end of that. I'm going to share my screen real quickly here. This is just translated, Google Translate to help me, so I don't have to translate it in my head. Let me make sure it's appearing up on the screen. I think that's probably the best window for us to see it. Yeah, that one's actually pretty good. I like this. Let's go. So this is with Sky. Usually there's 2 types of pressers. You got the one from the network, which would be like Sky or DAZN, and then the official one, which I believe De Rossi did after this match. De Rossi at Sky on the performance, what was missing, he said, we played against a strong team who, if they take the lead, are difficult to recover. It's difficult to get back. We were frantic after the goal conceded. He says, I liked the first half. We were aggressive. We forced them to kick the ball around. Then today, the game didn't go our way. Next question. How much did that mistake in Karsdorp have? He said, football is made up of episodes. We would be unfair to point the finger at a mistake today when instead sometimes you win on the mistakes of others. It's part of the game and we all come out of it together. We still have the return match. The episodes keep the games rolling, even though there were still 70 minutes left. We had opportunities until the last seconds play with a different deficit. He's saying like to get a goal back. It was their night. It's their year. A double advantage makes them even more dangerous on the counterattack. Let's break that down for a second. That now Roma will go to Germany, right? The fact that they can sit back and counter with those players, like De Rossi said here, is going to make them so dangerous. I'm not looking forward to next Thursday. Next question. Abraham's late goal could have changed the return match. Responds, apparently Abraham missed a sitter. I actually got so upset that I had to walk away. I went out and grilled a pork loin and some asparagus. I was just like, I can't do it at this point in time. He says every goal in home and away matches can be worth a lot. We could have been ahead with the crossbar. Maybe we'll unlock it and then we'll get one back in the return leg. I believe in it a lot, even if it will be difficult, but we won't give up. Next, what are the mistakes not to make on the return leg? He says we'll change some things. We have many games in a short time. You can go less hard to catch them, but they dribble anyway. He's meaning like Meno Duro. I think he's saying like don't press them as much, almost like stay a little bit more contained. He says they have fast and quality players. The choice in the first half was paying off. We conceded goals on a ball in our control. When you go down, it becomes difficult, but we could have done even better. Could have done better. Even with Bologna after the second goal, we played like emotionally. The boys did what they had to do. In the return, we will play our game, hoping that things will turn in our favor. Did Leverkusen surprise you? He says, we prepared for this match with a full-time center forward, but this is basically because we didn't know if Abraham was going to be fit or not. But then they played these matches without the striker, perhaps with the teams they feared like Bayern and Borussia Dortmund. So to backtrack on that, so he's referring to approaching like Bayern playing with a center forward. So Boniface didn't start, neither did Schick. In fact, you saw Florian Wirtz as the false nine. He says, we knew they would be more closed off. The teams unhinged them, like broke them down with great cleanliness of play and ball flow, with one on one leg and speed when they close down. If they lose the ball, they'll start again, but I think we did things correctly in the first half. How will you try to neutralize the vertical speed and physical strength? It says the physical strength they have doesn't limit them that much. They have a different like energy. When you see this word leg, it really means like a different spirit about them, a different type of speed, if you will. We perhaps have more technique. We have to be good at taking the right time when they have the ball. In the first half, we did what we had planned. The stronger the attacks, the less they rotate. But by doing so, they have more space behind our defense. Then he spoke to Rai. Such imprecise Roma had never been so far. And he says, Leverkusen were strong. We knew it. First half, we did what we had to do. We had to be cleaner in managing the ball, not giving them counterattacks, being accurate with your passes is what he's saying. So we started with the right amount of aggression. Incidents helped us at times, and today we didn't score despite a couple of interesting opportunities. They punished us. When you go behind, it becomes difficult. Did their good dribbling and your not so clean dribbling, even tiredness, complicate the match? Good question here. I just want to take a look and see who's in here. I'm looking at the comments. And guys, keep them coming in. I see my friend Sam Rubio is in here. Nice to see him. Sam, we'll have to catch up. We'll have to catch up very soon. But I'll keep yeah, I like this one as well. I'll keep this one up. He says, you said it well. In addition to our preparation, we were sometimes imprecise. They're really strong. If you want to be aggressive, which is what we tried, you have to take into account that they have quality players who are very fast, and it's not easy to keep them at bay for the whole match. If we had waited in our half of the pitch and made them dribble, little would have changed. We didn't have the same energy as them to restart, so it could have been an even worse match. Leading into this match, guys, I just want to remind us that Roma went against Serie A, and they questioned them why they crammed them with the match, the restart against Udinese, and why did they make this so condensed? Like, look, Roma is the team which has helped Italy out so much, the most in the past 5 years with gaining points towards the coefficient. Roma is the main reason why Italy now have 5 Champions League places. And at this point in time, I'm a little afraid that they're not going to qualify. But let's finish up here. He says, did the dribbling or their starting lineup surprise you more? He says, They had prepared 2 games, one with the big striker and Grimaldo and the fifth man, like as an attacker, and Hoffman in the attacking midfielder with Verts. We expected it in another way. They almost always played like this. I was amazed by their play and momentum in form. I was impressed by the team they were, and we expected it like this. Uh, and this kind of gets repetitive. He kind of like answers the same questions, but one thing we should look at, I think, is here. Can you tell us about the state of mind for Karsdorp? He said, mistakes happen. Let's not blame anyone. We all do things together. Sometimes we're rewarded by our opponent's mistakes. I'll never get angry with one of my players because he misses a pass. He was playing a good match, both physically and technically. It's obvious that that mistake affected him a lot, and the reaction of the crowd is what you can expect. We didn't have many alternatives on the right. We overturned after a few minutes. There are mistakes. I don't replace a player after every mistake. It would be easy to blame him. He wasn't happy. It's normal for the crowd to make noise. We can't expect them to always applaud us. We have lost 2 games at home. The stadium comes behind us and pushes us. The boys put in a good performance. We even had chances at the last minute. It was a difficult match. The episodes took its toll, but we will be good at staying close to him. We've only got 2. Let's see how many we have more here. Just 3 more questions. Roma attacked in a single string manner. They have high quality players like us. They go at 200 miles an hour. It allows you to play well and build up, but also go behind the opponent's backs. They often defend with 6 men. You can also use the counterattack with your physical qualities. I like how Bayer is built. They have energy and technique, but also a physicality that is most essential. Then he speaks about Andrek. He says, interesting player. There was doubt between him and Palacios when he prepared. Says he's solid, but Palacios has more flair, but he scored a great goal. Yeah, it's true. And last question here before we get to the comments, so keep on throwing them in, please. Is there a risk that this disappointment will now weigh on the comeback you're making in Serie A? He says, football is played by men, and men have emotions. It's difficult to have the same energy and positivity during the 90 minutes. The episodes affect you, like the things that happened in the match. For a while, it also seemed to me that we were deflated. There's also a tactical issue. Playing behind against Bayer compared to a game that was evenly balanced is different. In our construction, in our goal, there must also be mental strength. All right. So a lot that we got into here. There are times in the match where you do get depressed, right? You take a cheesy goal, a goal you didn't expect to take, and then you have to reply. And it forces Roma to go and play their B setup, B attack, whatever. They have to reassess because now it's not even anymore. That's really what I was most afraid of. It kind of reminds me of like the first half of the season where Mourinho, the team weren't going to score a lot, and Mourinho's plan B was always pitiful. But De Rossi's plan B is complicated more so by the fact that this opponent is at such a high level, at such a high caliber. And when we go to Germany next Thursday, what's it going to take? At most, I just want to see them go out there, put in a good performance, try to make some goal-scoring events, put some dignity on the match itself, because at this point, like De Rossi said, look, it's 2 home losses in a row. I don't remember the last time Roma lost 2 home matches in a row prior to Mourinho. That weighs heavily. That's why you hear those boos and those whistles coming from the crowd. I feel bad for Karsdorp, but at the same time, I looked at that pitch the first few minutes and I was like, it doesn't look good. There must have been a big rainstorm in Rome over the past 24 hours because the pitch did not look good at all. Yeah, there's issues with how the pitch is maintained, but let's not even go into that because that's a whole thing. And Serie A, or at least the groundskeepers at the Stadio Olimpico, could do better. I see Paul mentioning that. So let's jump into the comments, guys. We are 15 minutes in. My friend Ben is here. He says misery loves company. Yeah, it's true. Vincent's arrived as well. Amir says only Mourinho can win a game like that. De Rossi is a fraud. Ooh, okay. We've got a Mourinho stand in the house. That's okay. I don't know why you say De Rossi is a fraud. I have to question your overall game knowledge and background of what you know about Roma, but okay. Ciao Carl. Even though Leverkusen dominated Roma, Roma were unlucky. True, the crossbar of Lukaku and that Tammy miss. Oh boy, what does that goal mean? If Roma were to score one, then it's 2-2, right? You go in the return leg, totally different game. It's a sad moment, I think, for Roma, but as well as Tammy. And I think that when you miss a simple goal, one that could have been really, it could have really helped him out. It could have truly built up his confidence. Goal scoring is contagious. And to miss something like that just kills it. Straight up having a bad time right now, Ben says. Yeah, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all together. I think to just find a safe space to commiserate. Weird Summer Records. Hi, Weird Summer Records. First time coming in, I think. I haven't seen a squad this tired in a while. Roma clearly exhausted. And Paul is here as well. Hi, Paul. And says, yeah, this has been a very long season. Leverkusen is lucky by the fact that now they can just rest up. They've got their record they want to maintain. It's perfect, whatever. But they're already the German champions. There's no stress on them anymore. They're not playing 4 games within 8 days, the way that Roma is right now, with having to put their biggest and best out there. Weird says, I thought Bove had a great performance for Napoli. Would have been great defensively. Maybe. I think that this was Roma's best midfield. Like, this is, if you look at the players all around, I would have made the same decisions that that our friend De Rossi had made. I echo this from Vincent. I'm also afraid. I think we should take a look at Roma's schedule coming up as well, because it's not easy. Just looking, what do we got? Let's say that Roma do not win in Leverkusen next Thursday. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games outside of next Thursday remaining. So 5 matches remaining in the season, which is kind of scary because we're going to also take a look at the league table. So let's pull this up real quick for you. I'll try to make it bigger. And there we go. Okay. So what do we got? We had that draw against Napoli, the loss today, a late win against Udinese, and previous to that, Roma let in 3 goals at the Olimpico. I don't like seeing that. Next match comes on Sunday, May 5th, 2:45 p.m. New York time against Juventus. That's going to be a real joy, I'm sure. And it gets worse before it gets worse with Atalanta on Sunday, May 12th. And then Genoa, who can play some decent football. I think Albert's one of the most exciting players in the league. Albert's Goodmanson. I love him. I think he's going to go to Inter or Juventus, but I would love to have that guy. 26 years old, Icelandic, true baller. Okay, Empoli, who I don't know what they're up to. Are they relegated yet? Maybe. We'll check on that. And then the last game of the season, difficult against Milan. No walk in the park there at home, but what do you, I mean, let's think. I think it would be fair to say that Roma should get 6, 7. I think if they get 9 points, 8 or 9 points, I would be satisfied with that out of a possible 15. If we look at just how close it is now, though, Roma have a game in hand over Atalanta and he can be leapfrogged by them. We see 57 points at the bottom of your screen there. That's Atalanta, so they would go to 60 if they win their next game. Why wouldn't they? They're very good right now. Bologna have secured European play, 63 points. I don't think Roma is going to catch them. So they've got to keep 5th. And with Atalanta, let's see who their next game is. I'm not even sure. So they do have to play. Let me zoom out. I don't want to make you sick. They've got the second leg, of course, against Marseille. They've got Salernitana, who's already relegated. Come on, man. And they will face Roma. They do have more games added, though, against one Juventus with the Coppa Italia final, then Lecce, and then Torino. So it's a relatively easy backstretch of the season for them. Of course, they do have European play, Marseille. I would say they're going to get to the final, so maybe they have one eye on that as well. It scares me a little bit. So back to like what Vincent said. Can Roma do it? Yeah, I like the fact that Roma is going to get that chance, though, with the head-to-head battle. The fatigue there is there for sure, but why not let them go head-to-head? Let's see who's best, who can earn that Champions League spot. Also, if Atalanta do win Europa League, I think that sixth place opens up for Serie A. So that's something too. But I don't want to really bank on that fact. Paul says, we had pork loin tonight with green beans. Nice move. Yeah, good stuff. Trader Joe's pork loin. Free advertisement. Sam says, I thought we could have done more today. With 10 minutes, we could see how much better they were. Tough night for us. Forza Roma, Forza Wayne. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you, and I miss you, my friend. It did. Paul said it rained hard. Sam, not thrilled with Karsdorp. Oh, that's so funny, bro. How are you, Louie? It's good to hear from you. I was actually at the dentist today. I was thinking of you. I was like, if I ever need a second opinion, if you're in Central Jersey and you need a dentist, check out my boy Lou. Woo. No, Lou. This is Lou. My dentist is named Woo. This is Lou. Louie. Yeah, my wife. Joe Sway says, I have nothing against De Rossi, but he's not at the level of managing such a challenging game. Bad decision of sacking Jose. Look, man, I really disagree. De Rossi could have not done anything different to stop Karsdorp from making a bad pass. Like, De Rossi doesn't kick the ball. And look, you could make that same argument. Well, Mourinho doesn't convert the chances that were made. Well, hold on, because Mourinho did not have the players playing the best way that they could be playing. And De Rossi does. Out of this group, De Rossi is extracting the most out of any reasonable manager could, without maybe I don't know who's the best out of Guardiola. So you could disagree with me there, Josue. I know there's still a couple Mourinho guys hanging around, and that's cool, but I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Carl says, if Roma do not make Champions League, it'll be a disaster financially. Well, I tell you what, we won't be loaning in Lukaku. There will probably be some big decisions made with salaries as well. And you could look up those salaries. The captains on there. Who else off the top of my head? Like I mentioned, Lukaku. Gianluca Mancini is a big earner. Chris Smalling is a big earner. So if Roma do not make the Champions League, Carl is right in that you're going to see a lot of decisions being made. Ben says the May Milan game is a friendly, no? The Aussie one? I don't know. Is it? Is that that's not a regular season match? I thought it was for Roma. I thought that was a Serie A match. Let me check on that. No, you're right. That's a friendly. May 31st in Australia. Okay, so Roma's season actually ends against Empoli on May 26th. Thank you for calling that one. Abed says people only blaming Karsdorp is ridiculous. Yes, it was a big mistake, but Roma missed several chances. You cannot miss such chances in a semifinal. That comment there, for sure. Great one, Abed. Thank you for adding that. And also, like what De Rossi said, teams, they make mistakes together, they go down together, and they rise together. So, too poetic, too dramatic. LB says, yeah, this week, is always, is a must win. Teams need to lay it all on the line here and rest for next Sunday, as that's what matters. Pains me to say. That's very weird, Paul. LB says, I think it's because Karsdorp was just so poor. Every touch he had was bad, and he almost cost 2 more goals. Got no bad feelings on him prior to today, but tonight was bad. Praying for Bellanova. Bellanova would be beautiful. It would be a beautiful night if Bellanova was signed. I guess that's Bellanote. What's Nova? New, right? Bella new? New and beautiful? That would be nice. He would be new and beautiful for Roma. I would love to see that kid play right back. That's too funny. But we got a lot of good comments today, guys. Also, if you are new here, press that subscribe button. We've seen some good growth on my channel over the past couple of weeks, which has been really important to me. We have big news. I have a new baby. And with that, sometimes I can't always get on at the end of the match. But, I'm out here trying to do something, at least for every match. At least something to get us together. LB says it is not. Mourinho lost twice to Milan already this season. And Abed says, what I'm saying is that we have to convert our chances. Yeah. Yeah. So we go back to like that Abraham miss, the Lukaku header. Dybala had an opportunity. That was pretty far out. I wouldn't hold that against him. Um, Before we sign off, guys, there is one thing I wanted to show you, which was the amazing tifo by the Curva Sud today. Let me pull that up here. Here we go. Avanziamo. We go forward together. And I think that is that's the theme for tonight. We got to keep that in mind. Like there's going to be another day. There's going to be another match. The season's not over. Roma will still face Atalanta head to head. They can still grind out points here. Hopefully this Sunday against Juventus, a Juventus who's quite depressed at the moment, whose manager is at the end of his tenure with their key player who might be joining Roma with Federico Chiesa. There'll be a lot to break down about that going forward. But guys, if there's any last comments in, throw them in now. I'm just going to kind of recycle what we talked about today. We looked at the press conference from De Rossi. He spoke, I thought, very elegantly about a lot of things in the press conference, did not blame Karsdorp, said, yeah, sometimes things are deserved, but we lose together as a team. I was impressed with Bayer Leverkusen. I think we all were today. They played great football. Give credit to them. They're not undefeated by any random event. They do have a big team character. And we'll talk soon, okay, guys? Throw a like up there. Ciao, ciao.